Good evening. Welcome to Converge News. I am Emily DeMaria. Northwest Missourian journalists combine talents with KNWT crew members to produce Converge News. Each week at this time, we will cover issues that matter on campus and in our community. And now to our top story. Many students couldn't wait for the second week of classes. Some of the stress of the new school year has worn off. Rooms and apartments are starting to feel a bit more like home, and most important of all, university refunds are ready for distribution. Managing editor Austin Buckner is here to tell us more about those refunds. Good evening, Austin.
Hi, Emily.
Austin, approximately how many students received refunds this semester?
Well, about 4,500 students received refunds this semester. Of that, the total was about $6 million. 3.8 of that was checks, 2.2 of that was direct deposit. Bursar Terry Christensen said that they're trying to do more direct deposits in the future. It's quicker, students get their money quicker, and it reduces paper waste.
Wow, that's a lot. Where does the refund money come from?
Bursar Terry Christensen said most of the money comes from student loans, financial aid, different grants, things like that.
What were some of the ways that students shared with you about spending their refund money?
A lot of the students said they put it in their bank accounts and used it for different things, paying rent, getting groceries. One student said she bought a lot of iTunes songs with it. One student even said that he was going to buy an engagement ring. I know one student received over $6,000, and she was going to put a down payment on her car. There was a lot of things like that. There was also a student that just bought an Xbox, bought different computers, things like that, especially the ones that received extra scholarship money that it was basically just extra spending money.
Thank you, Austin. Dare Nottoway Public Safety Department sponsored a sobering reminder of the dangers of drinking and driving. Missourian videographer Robbie Votaw has more. Warning, this video contains graphic images.
The sounds of sirens. A body lifted and carried away. Finally, the slam of a hearse door. The sounds and scenes of a nightmare accident. Fortunately for the students of Maryville High School, it's all an act. The students are viewing a docudrama presented by DARE and the Nottoway Public Safety Department. The drama puts the students up close and personal with a drunk driving accident. Students play as actors to give the audience the impact of losing a fellow classmate. Blair Schmitz describes her role in the drama.
I was the dead person in the car of a drunk driver who wrecked and hit a person while texting.
The drunk driver goes through a sobriety test while the other student lies still on the hood of the car in graphic display. Schmitz hopes the message reaches everyone, but most importantly, the younger students.
The younger kids that haven't seen it before, this will have a pretty big impact on them. They'll realize what it's like in real life, and maybe they'll teach them not to do it.
Reporting for Convergence News and the Northwest Missourian, I'm Robbie Votaw.
Thanks, Robbie. The Student Activities Council Fall Concert sold out in a matter of hours, leaving many students disappointed. Sean Kingston's appearance in October led many to purchase multiple tickets, leaving little to none for others. Junior Jasmine Froh felt students were being penalized for attending classes when the tickets went on sale. She felt other students should have been accounted for with sales at different times. SAC is making amends as they sponsor scavenger hunts and ticket giveaways leading up to the concert, but they are also planning to limit the amount of tickets students can purchase in the future. SAC advisor Candace Wolf said in order to allow more students to get their free ticket, they will only allow one ticket to be purchased the first week of sales. When we come back, we'll be talking to Northwest Missourian sports editor Tony Botts. Stay tuned. When senior tight end Josh Baker walked onto the field against Texas A&M Kingsville, fans wondered who this unfamiliar figure was. When he walked off the field at Nebraska Omaha, the Mavericks wondered what just hit them. Sports editor Tony Botts is here to tell us more about Northwest's new tight end.
Good evening, Emily.
Good evening, Tony. Where did Josh Baker transfer from?
Baker's a tight end transfer out of University of Delaware, where he played with Joe Flacco, who's currently the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, what sold him on Northwest?
Baker was sold on Northwest when he visited. He got to talk with Bowles, Blake Bowles, obviously, met with the coaching staff, got to do a lot of hands-on things as far as learning the system, learning the schemes, and he did a lot of research coming in. He researched the returning defense, returning offensive players, the offensive line, and especially took into consideration the return of Blake Bowles, who had a tremendous season last year alongside of Jake Soy.
What are some of the qualities that the coaching staff noticed initially?
The first things that jumped off film for offense coordinator Adam Dorrell was just Baker's versatility. Baker's one of those players that can line up in the slot. He can catch passes out as a wideout. He can block as a tight end, and he can even run the wildcat, which is big for the Bearcats this year, especially with the run game off to a slow start.
Those indeed are some great qualities. How large of a role has Baker played so far this season?
To this point, Baker hasn't played that large of a role, considering he's only been on the field for 2 games for us. In the Kingsville game, he didn't have a whole lot of touches, but during the UNO game, he had 4 touches, scored 3 times, and made quite a few exciting plays for Bearcat fans that night.
And what expectations do you have of him in the future?
Baker's going to be a go-to guy this year. Bowles is going to feel comfortable getting him the ball. Dorrell's even said it when I talked to him that they're doing a lot of things to make Baker the primary receiver on a lot of plays, make him the focal point of a lot of the offensive schemes going into especially Truman. Coach Dorrell said he's excited to see what Baker can do with Truman this weekend in his first Hickory Stick game.
Thank you, Tony. With every autumn comes the inevitable cold and flu season. Many people fall victim at some point, but University Wellness Services hope to help students sidestep these illnesses with a new vaccine. With many different strands of flu viruses existing, the clinic previously had to give multiple shots to each person. Wellness Services Coordinator Jennifer Edict said the new shot will include both the influenza A and H1N1 vaccines, making only 1 shot necessary. Wellness Services will administer shots from 8 to 11 Thursday morning, September 30th. The clinic is free for all faculty and staff. However, students are required to pay a fee of $20 that can be paid by their Bearcat card, cash, or check. Skyrocketing rates of Adderall use show just how far our generation is willing to go to get ahead. Statistical evidence shows the overwhelming bias of Adderall abuse is among college students, making the little speed tablets the drug of choice of our generation. Opinions editor Philip Greenwald joins us to share his views on Adderall abuse. Good evening, Philip.
To be fair, the real problem with Adderall use is not the number of drug-related deaths that have come from Adderall overdose, because there haven't been any. Rather, Adderall is a serious gateway drug. A University of Columbia report showed that people who abused Adderall are 21 times more likely to abuse cocaine later in life than those who don't. Also, if you are currently abusing Adderall or taking it illegally, chances are 90% that you were binge drinking with alcohol just last month alone. But perhaps the problem isn't with alcohol or Adderall or cocaine or heroin or anything. It's the chemicals in general. To feel a need that chemicals will help you enjoy yourself at a party or study harder for a test. The scourge of our generation is a chemical dependence, and it's a dependence that many people are unaware of.
That's it for Converge News. I'm Emily DeMaria. See you next week.